Is it okay if I never want to buy a car, and use the bus all my life? I like public transport. None of my commutes are long. I enjoy going on my phone and reading Reddit, Wikipedia, Instagram. I enjoy being able to observe the city in a relaxed way. If I was driving, then I'd have to focus on the road. I also get to see the city walking from bus stop to bus stop. I don't have to worry about parking. It technically keeps me fit and being able to manage my time better. Because I sometimes run to the bus stop. And the fact that I can miss a bus makes me more aware of getting ready fast, etc. The two places I frequent, my own city and Toronto downtown, are easily accessible by public transport, and I enjoy it for the above reasons. I don't need a car. What do you all think? Thank you. If you actually live in a place with good public transportation, go for it. What I would advise, though, is knowing how to drive a car. Because you never know when there might be an emergency where that'd come in handy. Sure, why not? Not getting a car is even getting more common among people living in big cities. In Europe at least. How could this ever not be okay? Yes. Don't fix what's not broken. OFC. If it suits you, then what's the issue? It saves tons of money and stress and is better for the environment. If your city has decent transit, many don't, by all means go for it. You might want to venture into nature and such when it's nice to have a car. But if you have a friend to go with, it might be fine. Absolutely nothing wrong with it, and if it was practical where I live, I would do the same. I would say you should learn just to know. Wouldn't hurt to know how in case you needed to for whatever reason. Do what works for you. In my small rural town, I could never do that. But if you can and that's what you want, go for it. It's expensive and inconvenient to own a car in NYC. And I don't walk several miles every day and use public transportation buses when weather necessitates. For vacations and weekend getaways, we use car rentals. Much less expensive than owning a car and paying for garage, generally $700 per month and up in Manhattan. No regrets at all. Nothing wrong with wanting to use public transport as long as you live in a place that has good coverage and easy access. If you live in a major city, for example. Now, if you want to live outside a city or a place with bad to poor public transport, you may have issues. Is it okay with you? Because that's really all that matters. I have saved about 7,000 miles a year of driving by taking public transportation to work. And I am walking about 2 miles more per day. It's the best. If you live and work somewhere with reliable public transit, then don't drive and fuck other people's opinions. But please at least know how to drive and have a license just in case you need to if there's an emergency. Plus, you never know if you might have to move somewhere else in the future with no bus. Of course, it's okay if you can get around. In Europe, lots of people don't have cars because of public transportation. I still have a license for driving in case I am in areas that are less accessible when I travel. So that may be something to consider. I'm 30 and I never owned a car. I don't even have the license. I walk. I cycle. I use the bus or tram or train or plane or taxi. I don't think I'll ever own a car. And I like it that way. I live in Europe, so the mass transportation is great and far cheaper than gas and parking and stuff. Not the asshole. Places that have excellent public transportation. There is no need of a car. I spent many years in Germany without one and never felt I missed out for not owning a car. In NC, the public transportation is shit and a car is needed. Fuck cars. I would love to not have her in my mid-sized city. A bus ride is neither safe nor effective. If you live somewhere where that's feasible, then by all means go right ahead. You can always rent a car on the rare occasion you need to travel farther. If you don't need a car, then the not okay thing would be for you to buy a car. It would be a huge waste of money for you. My perspective on adults owning motor vehicles changed drastically when I became sick during the school year. Were given driver's ed classes and remained too sick to safely make use of a driver's license into my early 20s. Don't let other people's ignorant and unwarranted judgments make your life decisions for you. You're the only one stuck with you and your life until the day you die. So live for yourself, not for what others want of you. Sure, life isn't for everybody. I for one would miss the freedom of being able to pick up and go. And the ability to carry home more than an armful of groceries. But for some, especially those living in a city with amenities close by, this would save a lot of money on gas and insurance. Okay, of course, do whatever you want. And you never know, you may change your mind someday. Absolutely, but please don't expect friends and family to drive you everywhere. If you end up always asking to be driven everywhere, you should get a license and car. Yeah, it's fine lol. That's fine. Owning a car is a huge money sink you can avoid if you live in a big city with good transit. Carry a license for utility. If you find you want to visit some place where public transportation doesn't go, and you're over 25 and have a driver's license and a credit card, you can always rent a car or join a car share. But you seem to have life pretty well worked out otherwise. So why change? Cars are expensive and polluting and a pitter to take care of. TTC and Go Transit require nothing but a fare. I live in a big city, and while I'm perfectly capable and even licensed, I choose not to and never have. I live in the city I work, so in the long run the bus is cheaper. Nope. I use Uber when Jay need a ride. Look at cost of owning a car versus public transport. I plan on getting an electric bike when I need to retire my present car. Everything I need is within 5 miles. And mostly within 1-2 miles. If it works for you, it works for you. Get in where you fit in. We are a rare breed. I'm 49 and have never wanted a car and never bothered to get my driver's license. I would much rather read on the bus than have to worry about driving. Perfectly fine. I lived in Switzerland for a period. And even in the suburbs, like the far-flung suburbs, there was good transit service. They were obsessive over there. You could easily get away with always taking transit. Having said that, I would still recommend going to the trouble of getting your driver's license. There are times when taking the bus just don't work. Moving apartments, going camping, deep in the woods, road trips. And it's also useful for identification. Plus, if you go out, and your friend, who was the designated driver, isn't very good at not drinking, you can step in.